Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to be looking at changes due to climate change. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 11th year of the Leadership Japan series. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and three-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery. My new book, Stop Wasting Money on Training in Japanese, is Training de Okane o Muru ni suru no wa yamimashou. And all of my books are available on Amazon. This podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan. Trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentation Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oishia Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show podcast. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is "chigaimasu kedo." If someone calls you up and they've got the wrong number, this is what you can say. "Chigaimasu kedo, chigaimasu kedo, chigaimasu kedo." Oh, you've got the wrong number. No, that's not the correct number. This is the wrong number. You've got the wrong number. "Chigaimasu kedo, chigaimasu kedo, chigaimasu kedo." Now, this is episode number 527. Today we're talking about climate change demands leadership changes. Japan has always been a country which has adapted to weather and seismic conditions. Traditional housing was built on the assumption that earthquakes would less easily destroy wooded houses, which had built-in flex points. High-pitched roof angles allowed snow to fall more easily from the roof and prevent the snow weight crushing those inside. Things have changed though, and we now have typhoons going as far north as Hokkaido. When I arrived here in April 1979, that possibility would have been unthinkable. We have massive flooding of low-lying areas, which until relatively recently could survive heavy rains. Japan is also becoming unbearably hot. Cities like Tokyo have lots of concreted surfaces, not that many trees, and the heat at ground level is becoming more and more intense. The NHK News today was reporting an average temperature for Tokyo of 36 degrees centigrade. While I was driving around, my car temperature gauge was showing 39.5 degrees for outside the vehicle, and trust me, it was red hot on the street level. This is the summer environment our people have to work in. Energy bills are going up dramatically to a government-approved 42% increase in some cases for this summer. Global energy cost increases are now being passed on to consumers. Remote work has shifted the cooling bill to the individual. There are many cases of older people suffering heat stroke because they felt they couldn't afford to use the air conditioner due to the high cost. There's also a formula for trouble for those working from home. The idea is that you can be more creative working from home than in the office. During COVID, it certainly made sense from a safety point of view. The creativity part, well, I don't know about that idea. I don't think it is easy to be creative at home when the temperature outside is super hot and you are not using air conditioning to save money. I've told my team, come to the office and use the air conditioning there. We pay for it anyway, whether there is one person or everyone present. I also recommend commuting much earlier when it is cooler and the trains are less crowded. Cool biz is absolutely a must in this heat, and I don't see any need for jackets anymore. Salespeople are the one group in the organization who want to visit clients face to face, regardless of how hot it is. That means heading out into the heat to do so. While face to face is ideal, this heat tells me that virtual meetings, which were okay during COVID for sales meetings, will be okay now too. As the leaders, we have to adjust our expectations to how much productivity we can expect from our team in these hot conditions. It is hard to think well and clearly when your brain is frying. Moving fast and expending lots of energy is not a good idea when it is so hot. We need to leave earlier for appointments and pace ourselves for the heat. The heat makes us feel lethargic. As the boss, we have to accept that now, during these exceptionally hot summer months, our team will be affected. We have to adjust our expectations about both the quality and quantity of work we can receive. Carrying on as usual makes no sense, and any team working for a boss who has not addressed a productivity expectation issue during extreme heat will find that the team will not be as motivated. Find out more when we come back from the break. Today's show is brought to you by our public courses, but we also are doing custom in-house programs. We do these in both Japanese and English. We do them face-to-face in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. The show today is being brought to you by, on the 29th of August, our Step Up the Leadership program. That's a one-day program for new leaders. On the 30th of August, we're doing storytelling. Absolutely critical we can tell stories, and this is proven to be one of the most effective communication tools we all have at our disposal, but often we're not trained on how to use this tool properly or effectively. This is the course for you. Go to our website at www.dale, D-A-L-E, Carnegie, CARNEGIE.co.jp. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, which in Japanese is Zaegyo. This is the Bible for selling in Japan. Japan Business Mastery, Japan Presentations Mastery, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muru ni Sunu wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. If you like learning by watching videos, we have nearly 2,000 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show on Japan every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from small, medium enterprises all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. This is the era in Japan of high demand for staff and high demand from staff for improved boss EQ levels. Being unwilling or unable to adjust expectations to accommodate the heat is bound to be a stimulus for some people to seek another more caring boss. And we know people leave bosses, not companies. This may be the straw that breaks the camel's back this year. There are only a limited number of things a boss can do for staff in this heat. If there is a requirement for staff to work from home, then for these hot months of the year, the company can add some additional monies to help with the increased air conditioning costs at home. Effective means should be sought for paying this allowance, as otherwise the staff just pay increased tax. Being flexible on the hours being worked in the office also helps. Starting and finishing early makes sense, and bosses need to adjust the company rules about working hours during the summer months and make this a permanent arrangement, because this situation is going to continue forever. Adjusting work goals and targets is another important aspect of boss accommodation for the daily reality of working in extreme heat. Speed and quality of non-sales staff can be looked at and changes made. For salespeople, the monthly targets during summer have to reflect the new reality. Just dividing the annual sales target into equal monthly allocations makes little sense. There are always certain months of the year when sales are going to be down, and this is no accident. For example, January, or Oshogatsu, February, it's a short month, and August, or Bon, are often slower months in sales because of the fewer workdays. Bosses have to make some tweaks to the sales targets for these months, and now additionally for the other summer months to reflect this new extreme heat reality. Obon has traditionally been a holiday time in August, and perhaps the length of leave during Obon can be extended by another week or so. Clients are also taking time off during Obon, so this makes good sense to squeeze another week into the holiday schedule. Getting staff to take their holidays is always a strange struggle in Japan. But with this increase in heat, I think bosses need to work on their persuasion skills to encourage staff to take more time off over the summer than previously. This extreme summer heat in Japan is the new normal, and we have to look at ways to adjust to it. Now, staff expect it, and we have to look for every area where we can make adjustments and make those permanent adjustments as well. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then tell your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. You can contact me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Our website is www.dale-carnegie.co.jp. Until the next episode, take what you thought valuable, put it into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. So be one of them. Remember, I'm in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.